Today I read a story about how children's books in China are now featuring porn and violence. And I'm reading from the article, Chinese education experts have called for vigilance and enhanced monitoring of books sold as reading material for children, which increasingly contain violent or pornographic content. This is quite alarming, wouldn't you say? That people are actually writing children's books with pornographic content. And recently, in the last couple of years, we've seen more and more cases of child pornography, more and more cases of children being gruesomely raped in specific countries. We've seen more and more and more stories about politicians being caught with their pants down in some kind of act, either through porn or through having sex with minors. Celebrities have been exposed as pedophiles. And yet the discussion about porn is stagnated at a point of talking about that we should try to keep porn away from children. Like, that's the primary point in the discussion about porn. That children cannot handle watching porn. And within all this, there is no question about whether we as adults can handle watching porn. And whether the way that we're watching porn, even all of us innocent people in the West who don't abuse people, who don't go to prostitutes, who don't participate in the abuse of children around the world. I mean, if we look at the interconnectedness of all of these points, it all leads back to us. And I'm saying, don't participate in the abuse, because if we have a self-honest look at what it is that we're accepting and allowing through participating in porn, through innocently watching some good old-fashioned porn on the internet and masturbating, and that's not so harmful. All of this is actually creating this very infected situation that is directly leading to children, little innocent children that hasn't done anything wrong, that are just unfortunate enough to be born into this hellhole of a world. That is because of what we're accepting and allowing. And the solution isn't simply to keep porn away from children, because as history shows, anything you try and keep away from children but that you want for yourself and that you secretly find ultimate pleasure in, children are going to want to do that. They're going to want to smoke, they're going to want to have sex, they want to do all the things that the adults do. And so it's that principle of that children will learn from what you do, not from what you say. And having principles is not about saying things. It's not about saying to children that they should be good and that they should behave. It's about actually standing as an example for them. And so if you don't want your children to watch porn, then you should stop watching porn. And an even bigger problem is that when the politicians, we've seen case upon case upon case where politicians are exposed somehow watching porn. And that is obviously one of the primary reasons why there hasn't been any serious discussions or any ban on porn from an adult perspective. Because within that sentence of we must protect the children from porn because they can't handle it, we are implicitly saying that we want to keep the porn for ourselves and that we can apparently handle it, when the truth is, if you are a porn viewer, a porn user, you know what I'm talking about, we can't handle it. And for many people, it leads to actual physical abuse. It might not have happened to you, it might not have happened to your friends, but looking at the totality of the picture, that is what happens. And I've previously used an example to show how this works, in that why do you think that advertisers, why do you think corporations and companies spend so insanely much an insane amount of money each year on advertisements, on commercials, it is because it works. It works to place images that people integrate into themselves. It works to impulse images and words and sounds in a specific way because people integrate them into their minds. It is literal direct brainwashing. The whole purpose with advertisements is to brainwash you so that you will go and buy a product and you won't be consciously aware of it because it is happening at such a subtle level, because you're taking it in directly and meanwhile believing that these are just innocent pictures. How can they harm me? And I am in full control of my life. I decide what I buy. I have free will. While not realizing that every time this desire pops up, or you're in the shop and you pick that product over that product, it is because you've seen it in a commercial or in an advertisement. Seriously, they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. And so many people, including myself, would say, yeah, but it doesn't work on me. Well, have a self-honest look. When I did, I was shocked to realize that, of course, it works on me. It's just depending on your specific opening up to brainwashing, meaning what is it that you're open for? Is it freedom or happiness or lust? What is your drug of choice? What is your flavor? And so the same is obviously the case with porn. The more you watch porn, the more you integrate the images into your mind, and it becomes a part of you. It's not a part of you in the sense that that's necessarily how you define yourself, because what happens is that we as people, we then create these split personalities where we have this secret mind, this secret chamber in our minds where we live out our porn fantasies in our head. But still it is there, and the potential for abuse, the potential for acting out exists, even within perfectly normal people who are simply watching harmless porn. So therefore, if we are serious about stopping all of these gruesome and horrific things that are happening to children around the world, child sex trafficking, child rape, child molestation, children becoming abusers themselves, children attacking other children, teachers abusing pupils, then we have to take a serious look at what it is we are accepting and allowing, and realize it's a simple realization. It's difficult because we want to hold on to our porn. We want to hold on to the energetic experience that we get out of it. But it is a simple realization to see that everything is interconnected. It doesn't, like porn, child rape in India doesn't exist as an exclusive or secluded event. It is all interconnected. So it is really time to look at ourselves in self-honesty. And also, it's not that there's anything wrong with sexuality at all. This is not about sexuality. Porn is not about sexuality. Simply have a look at it. It's not really sex. It's not really sexuality. It's all about that energetic experience that people get out of masturbating. There's no real sex in it. There's no real exploration in it. There's no real sexual liberation in it. And we can't even get to such a sexual liberation until we have actually addressed this point, until we have looked ourselves in the eyes in self-honesty and admit what it is that we're doing. Admit that we don't want to let it go. Realize the consequences that it is creating. Stop all the excuses and all the justifications. And then we can begin exploring what sexuality can be, what sexual expression can be, without porn, without mental stimulation, where it can be a physical, enjoyable, unconditional expression between people who equally want to participate in it, without money having anything to do with it. So investigate Porn Addicts' Journey to Life, where a group of porn addicts are gathering and sharing their experiences with porn addiction and the realizations that they've had and how they have assisted and supported themselves to stop porn addiction. Investigate the Porn Alt Delete Facebook page. We will also be doing hangouts on porn, and there's plenty of support available. It's not about judging people for watching porn. Most of us has been there in one way or another. We know what it's like, but it is possible to stop, and it is pertinent that we stop. Thank you very much.